Fanzone, united by the game, powered by Moore's World of Sport.
Welcome back to Fanzone, your favorite Zimbabwean sports podcast, where we will be discussing the sporting landscape and what is going in and around Zimbabwe. My name is Sips.
And I'm Steve Vickers. Exciting stuff as the start of the 2026 Castle Lager Premier Soccer League season just a few weeks away. We're talking Caps United today. Lots of big signings to add to the ones that he made mid-season last year. So can Makepekepe challenge for the title? We're digging into that, plus talking Highlanders. They've got the coach, Thabo Senong, the South African, but do they have the players in their centenary season? And joining us on the show today is Simba Chiminya, StarFM sportscaster. Welcome, Simba.
Thank you very much, Steve. Nice to be back on the show.
Well, great to have you with us. Also, we are talking cricket. The ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup starting on Thursday. This is a big one as Zimbabwe is co-hosting with Namibia. Excited about this, Sis?
Yeah, so much to look forward to, Steve, especially with the cricket. But just to get us started in the conversation, AFCON. We're just past the quarterfinals into the semis now, but a mixed bag of results. Egypt getting in 3-2 over last year's reigning champions, Ivory Coast. What are some of your unseen results there, Steve?
Yeah, I think it's been very exciting. Very good quality of football. The quarterfinals were fantastic, especially Egypt, Cote d'Ivoire. That was an absolute blockbuster. Great game that was. Shame to see the Ivorians getting knocked out there, but Egypt defended solidly. So they're looking good. Senegal for them in the semi-finals, and Senegal continue just to get things right game after game. So that's a huge one. Is Mohamed Salah going to take the AFCON title? And then Nigeria against the host Morocco. No doubt Nigeria have been the best team at the tournament so far. This is a big game.
It's going to be a big game. Steve, you did say that Senegal was your favourite to get through to the final. That hasn't changed?
Yeah, sure. I think I think they might do, but it's very, very tight there. But Nigeria is the team that's impressed me most. Alex Iwobi doing fantastic things in midfield, incredible stats for him. Ademola Lookman, an assist machine. Victor Osimhen, a goal-scoring machine. Remember, this Nigeria Super Eagles team is not going to the World Cup. They didn't qualify, so winning the AFCON means so much to them. But for Morocco, winning all their games so far as well, it's very, very close now.
And how about you, Simba, from the remaining four that's going to semi-final, who's going to be lifting the AFCON trophy?
Difficult to tell, but I concur with Steve that Nigeria are a good, solid team. I've been really impressed by the way that they've been playing. And spoke about Alex Iwobi and, a person who has been drifted to play in the center of the mid. At times you'd find him on the wings. But the way that he has been controlling the midfield, and even if you look at the second goal that he created against Algeria, the pass that he managed to pick out Victor Osimhen, and Osimhen had to just tee up to Adams to get that goal. And you just look at the way that they structure their play. Mostly it's coming from the wings, long crosses, high balls towards Victor Osimhen, and he's been able to get those goals. Yes, there was talk about that speed between Lookman and Osimhen, but I think when you look at it in retrospect, it's all about a team that is made up of players that really wants to win, a team of players that would fight for anything so that they get the 3 points. For Morocco is the host. They've been doing well, but I'm pretty sure they haven't met a team that is as solid as Nigeria at the moment. And for Egypt and Senegal, probably just rewinding back to the 2019 AFCON, and I think for Egypt they would want revenge out of this one and would want to take the 3 points and go on to the final. And you'll be looking at Mo Salah and you'd say probably this will also be his last AFCON, and you never know what's going to happen next. So I think for Egypt they would want to win it, both as being hosted in North Africa and also revenge against Senegal.
Well, exciting things to come in the AFCON as we head into the semi-finals. The quarterfinals played over the weekend. Let us know who you think is going through to the final. But even better, you can not let us know in the comments, but also predict and the predictions over the weekend were very good. The top three remained the same in the Pride of Africa AFCON predictor. Maestro 29 at the top, Fofo 10 in second, a familiar face from the Moors PSL predictor, and Vamatsa in third. It was a great weekend for Tonde 2707, jumping up 20 places all the way from 24th into 4th. So great job to Tonde 2707, and also to Peter Machacha, who's come into 6th place after jumping up 13. So Steve, you've had some very competitive people who saw that this was a good round for them. Last week you were 36th. What are you doing? How are you doing this week?
I'm still in the top 50. I'm hanging on at number 49, Sip, so I've got to get it right now in the semi-finals and the final. But it's been great fun because, some of the games are really difficult to predict. I might go for draws in the semi-finals because the predictor is looking at the scoreline at 90 minutes.
Yes.
A lot of these games go to extra time and shootouts. I haven't done my prediction yet, but I might go for draws.
Yes, yeah, thank you, Steve, for bringing that up. Yes, that's a great point. Guys, the predictions are done up to 90 minutes, not the full-time scores. Whatever happens in extra time penalties will not be counted towards the predictor. Test your predicting skills at fanzone.co.zw in the AFCON tab. Sign up if you haven't already. If you played the Moors PSL predictor, you're already in the system. Just get predicting. In local football, it's exciting times for Caps United after what was a rusty and underwhelming 2025 season. They now look to 2026, new signings and induction which happened last week, Thursday. Simba, what is going on in the Caps United camp?
So Caps United did a 2-day induction, a workshop with the players, and they managed to call in a number of former players that won the title with Caps United, the likes of George Mdiwa, also Alois Bunjira was there, and Chinyimba was also there. So it was like just to make the players understand what it is playing for Caps United, and they had so much in terms of sessions with even the guys from the media. They were also there and just telling them what they saw with the previous Caps United teams, the likes of Charles Mabika, just taking them through from the 70s up to now, and also Robson Sharugo. So I think there are quite a number of speakers that spoke to the players, telling them what it is and what is expected from them, from the fans. And you look at Caps United, the brand that it represents. So, when you have it, something like that, because what we've just been used to seeing is people or the club leadership will just go to training session and just have a pep talk with the players. But then when you have a place where you go there for 2 days and from the morning up to late in the afternoon, just talking about the club is something really big, and it shows what they really want to achieve this year.
Yeah, I also saw that Takeshaw Chiragwi, the new head coach, he also had a couple of words to say for the players. It'll be very important that they also get to know him. I'm sure it was the first time that they got to, some of them would not meet, but some of them would see him as the Caps United coach.
Yeah, and I think it was from their end, it was also pleasing to know that of all the players that have been, signed by Caps United, probably only one or two were not there, but the rest were there. So the outcome shows you what the players really want to achieve. And for Takeshaw Chiragwi also is a title-winning coach, and he played at Caps United. But when you have such a team, you look at the composition of the team right now. I think for every position there are 2-3 quality players, and it shows you that come the start of the season, there will be stiff competition for places, and also the fact that they are going to have a 2-week bonding camp outside the country. I'm sure it's going to be in Malawi. And when you look at the players that they have, just look at maybe the strikers. Chris Mgalo was there last year.
He's still there. Yeah.
He's still there.
He joined mid-season.
He joined mid-season, and he's got a presence. And you look at the teams that he played for, young Africans, played in Zambia as well. And you still also have Aubrey Ochirinda, who I think is one of the best strikers locally. And in terms of character also, is there Delik Mrimba also coming in. There is also Lloyd Njaliwa from Malawi. He played for Costa do Sol in Mozambique and also played Champions League football, African Champions League. So you have players in terms of the strike force. These are the strikers that are going to have competition. You also have Ishmael Ward is still in the mix, and he was with the Warriors at AFCON. So in terms of the experience up front, they've got experienced stars. You look at the midfield, Tanaka Shandiro was still there, Richard Diachiro coming in there, and you still also have got that experience. The Warriors, Ngezi Platinum Stars, and almost every position at Cape United has got experienced players, and there's going to be competition. And the fact that they brought in 7 players from Ngezi Platinum Stars who have tested what it means to win the title, and they've got that experience. So it's just taking that winning mentality, the winning coach, and also the team manager, Tinashe Ngomasha, coming in as well. So I think for Cape United, this might be their year. The last one in 2016, and you just put the 6 in the equation and just say maybe probably it's going to be their year. Remember 1996 as well.
So what does that your year mean? Do you think that Cape United is going to take the PSL title in 2026?
Yeah, for me, I'm putting there among the top 3 for the title contenders, because when you look at the players on paper, I think they've got good players, and the good thing that they did is they took a title-winning coach with the backbone of the players that helped him to win that title. So it's like Ngezi Light coming into Cape United and fusing with the players that are coming from the other teams and the teams that have already been there at Cape United. So it's just going to be a strong squad.
What about Ian Bakala? He's now assistant coach, so he's moving down from head coach to assistant coach, Zambian. A foreign assistant coach, can't remember when we've had that, but what do you see the dynamics there?
Yeah, for Ian Bakala, when he came in, he knew very well that he was coming in to be an assistant coach. And the plan for Cape United all along was to have Tekshua Chiragwe coming in as the head coach, but they couldn't take him during the mid-season last year because he still had a running contract with Ngezi Platinum Stars. So when Ian Bakala came in, he knew very well that when the year ends, Tekshua Chiragwe was going to come in and take the place of head coach. But just look at the composition also. There is also Joseph Kamwendo. He's in there, and he is still the only foreigner to have won the Soccer Star of the Year. And the experience that he had even playing South Africa and also coaching in Malawi. So technical department is with people that have that experience playing at the highest level and also coaching. So I think that is a combination that is really good.
So it's really solid. Of course, this Scotland hard rock, probably you say second strongest in terms of signings, but from your traditional teams, Caps look pretty good. Well, very solid from what Simba's saying.
Yeah, very solid indeed. And, new players have come into the Caps side, but also some old players have stayed. You mentioned earlier Chris Mugalu as staying in the Cape United side. Last season, Steve, you weren't very impressed with Chris Mugalu. Do you think maybe, hopefully, you were seeing something new from him this year? Because he has stayed on. The contract has been renewed.
Yeah.
So obviously, Caps are happy with something.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. He's a real number 9, so it depends on the service that he's getting, because he can finish the chances when they come his way. We saw headed goals from him as well, so he could be very effective. Probably they will use him as the main target man again, as they were in the second half of last season.
Another giant who has been making waves in the signings, very quiet up until last week. Bosso 90 Highlanders have been doing their rounds and also have gone to their signing. It's the centenary year. There's lots of pressure for Highlanders from the people, the youngsters that they have signed. Very good for the Zimbabwean football. We've had this debate a number of times on the show about youngsters and versus oldsters. 24 and below essentially were most of their signings. But will this be enough, Simba, to see them through to a top 5 finish?
Not really, and I'm sure if I say it, I think most Islanders fans will also concur with me. From a fan's point of view, they'll be really disappointed, because in as much as they are bringing in new players, you can't let a player like Melikhaya and Ncube go, no matter what the conditions might have been, because you want a player who is not just only good, but somebody who has got the character that is needed for a team like Highlanders. Because if you look at the Highlanders team, and you look at four players with character, you just pick out Melikhaya Ncube was one of them, and then Andrew Mbeba, and there's Brian Mulochwa. And I think those are the three players that you could take to any game and they could withstand the heat. But if you let Melikhaya go, and whoever you're going to replace him with, you'd need a player that has got character, that has played for one of the big teams. But the players that are coming in are players, maybe I would say Mongameli Chuma from Wange, but he is not a player that you can say in terms of character really fits the bill that you'd want. Yes, might be talented, might be good, but for Highlanders, Dynamos Caps is more than just the talent. And you look also at the other players, Royton Nyamono from Bigita Minerals 18, and you also have a Chuma also coming in from NAST, and I think maybe Tawanda Shenje from Wange as well, a defender. But then it takes a lot to play for Highlanders because there will always be pressure to impress, particularly when you're also coming in from outside Bulawayo and from a team that is there. So for the players to start gelling in, and this is 100-year celebration for Highlanders, and you'd want a league title.
This talks more of a project, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, it's more of a project. Not, when you look at the players, you can't say these are the players that you would want them to win the title for you. Because look at the players that we've been talking about at Caps United. They are certified winners before. They know what it is, winning titles. And it's not going to measure up when you play, against Highlanders. And Highlanders, I thought the executive should have done better this year.
Yeah, I mean, they got one of the best coaches, Thabo Senong, the South African, took South Africa to the Under-20 World Cup. So we know what he's capable of working with youngsters. If this was being done 3 years ago ahead of the centenary, you would say good project. He can build a team that can challenge in 2026, but the timing doesn't seem right.
Yeah, it's unfortunate timing. But also, Simba, there was an issue with Thabo Senong. He arrived here in Harare, but then had to fly back to South Africa. What went wrong there in the Highlanders camp?
I'm really surprised because I thought that Highlanders over the years have been bringing in foreign coaches, and most of these foreign coaches would come when the work permit has already been sorted out, and allowing Thabo to come in without his work permit having sorted out, I don't really know what they were trying to do. Remember, it also happened with the national team. Tom Saintfiet came in, started work without the work permit, but that was the end of his Warriors career before he started. Yeah. I'm not saying this is going to happen to Thabo, but I thought Highlanders should have done better on that occasion because, look, he's just coming from South Africa. They knew that he was their man. They wanted him, and they should have just sorted his papers before he came in.
Yeah. So things going wrong and some things going right at Highlanders, but Simba reckons that the 2026 PSL title might fall into the hands of Caps United. Let us know what you guys think and who will be the team to lift the trophy later on this year. So looking forward to the 2026 PSL season, but also coming up later this week is the ICC Men's Under-19 Cricket World Cup, hosted here in Zimbabwe and also Namibia, co-hosted between these two nations. Obviously, it's been a while since Zimbabwe have hosted a World Cup of this stature, so exciting times, and obviously for our youngsters, lots to live up to on home ground. It's going to be a big tournament, Steve.
Yes, it is a big honour for the country that we're hosting this. Some of the games are being played in Namibia, but most of them are in Zimbabwe, in Bulawayo and in Harare at Takashinga, and Harare Sports Club will host the games at the end of the tournament. So it's a big honour for Zimbabwe. We know that we're going to host it very well. Warm-up matches have been taking place over the past few days. And we got a pretty good record at this level as well. Our group is very mouth-watering. Scotland will play on Thursday, then England on Sunday at Takashinga. That's going to attract a huge crowd, definitely. Pakistan, the other team in our group. Top three go to the Super Sixes, so as long as we don't finish bottom of the group, we proceed there, and then there'll be semi-finals after that. Our best finish was 6th. That was back in 2000. 2004. Tino Maoyo was the captain then. Brendan Taylor was in the team. Sean Williams as well. And Elton Chigumbura, who was so good at that level. So we've got a good pedigree at this tournament. You can go back to 2000. Tatenda Taibu was the captain then. So we can expect to put up a good showing, and it's really great that we're getting to host such a big tournament here.
Yeah, it's a good run, Steve. Even the last World Cup, Under-19 World Cup in 2024, we did make it to the Super 8, so hopefully we will do it again. They've had some good preparation. Last year, around September, October, they played triangular against Bangladesh and South Africa. One-sided results. We didn't win any of these games, but then we later played Pakistan and Afghanistan in December and earlier this month. A lot of the games were rained off due to the weather, but we did have one win against Afghanistan, which saw us through to the final against Pakistan, but then a loss by 9 wickets. So some good results, some one-sided results, but definitely good practice before we get into this first.
No, I think we've prepared well. We're ready to do our best there. Trophy tour was good as well. Trophy went to Bulawayo, went to Masvingo, then Harare at Harare Sports Club and to Highfields as well. So there's been plenty of hype for this. We just need the boys to be very competitive there. Our group is not bad, but we've got to make sure we beat Scotland in the opening game. Otherwise, it will become tricky for us. So that's the most winnable game in our group. England and Pakistan would be tougher. Also, lots of rain is forecast in the coming few days. So you've got to be careful with your tactics there in case it goes to Duckworth-Lewis Stern method. You've got to make sure that your run rate is up there, especially if you're batting second. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Now, Simba, we know that you are a soccer guru. But however, would you maybe take a visit to Takashingo or Harare Sports Club to see what's going on and give us a couple of updates maybe, if it's possible?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, when the parade came to Harare, I was there from the CBD up to Takashinga, and just seeing the hype that is there. Also, even the players themselves, just getting to talk to one of them, and actually the captain is called Simba. Yeah, and so I think I would just want to go there and just follow the action from Takashinga.
Yeah, and so your viewpoint is also similar with Steve. I'm assuming that Scotland's probably the most winnable game. We have to go after that game very hard.
I think, when you are the host in the first game, you just need to send a message, and when you play the first game, you need to win resoundingly.
Yeah. Well, that's the Under-19 World Cup coming up this weekend, and they'll be played right up until the early stages of February. But there's also a beach volleyball going on at the moment. There was a tournament hosted, a 2-leg tournament over the weekend at the Milton Club. So, Steve, yes, you heard that right. Beach volleyball in Harare. Obviously, logistically, doesn't really make sense. There has to be a couple preparations, but that's pretty exciting.
Yes, it is. We've grown in this over the last 20 years. Beach volleyball in a country with no beaches, or with no sea anyway. So I remember about 20 years ago we started getting into beach volleyball. One of the first tournaments was at Kwamareki in Warren Park in Harare, where trucks came with sand to to construct the court there. Then Makepekepe in Highfields was another venue in years after that. And we've actually done very well in beach volleyball. I watched Zimbabwe at the All Africa Games in Mozambique in 2011. We competed very well there. Did extremely well at the Region 5 Youth Games in Namibia as well. All of this in a country with no beaches. So the likes of Seychelles actually are always good at this level when it comes to continental competition. It's two-a-side in beach volleyball, need to be strong and agile, obviously, and it's great that we've taken this initiative. Also, the sand has got to be the right sand, so even you can't just play on any beach. You might need to process the sand to make it suitable for beach volleyball. So we're not at as much of a disadvantage as it might sound, except that if you're living in Rio de Janeiro, maybe in Brazil, you're used to playing volleyball on the beach, but we're not. But it's really good, the progress we've made over the years.
Yeah, and especially after the success at the Region 5 Games, gold for our boys and bronze for our girls, there's been some refurbishing done at the Milton Bowling Club. So Again, very exciting times. We had a correspondent from a Fanzone. He spoke to Robert Njerera, who is the chairman of the beach volleyball.
Today we've got the first leg of the Harare Volleyball Association beach volleyball tournament. This first leg we had 14 entries, 8 male teams and 6 female teams. So the teams have been grouped into 2 pools, and right now we are having our pool games being played, and then from the pool games we are going to go straight to the semi-finals and the finals. The tournament is running from the 10th of January to the 11th of January. So today we are playing the pool games, and tomorrow we hope to be playing the semi-finals and the finals. So this tournament is part of our initiative to have our pre-season beach volleyball activities taking place and making sure that we have our teams having some form of activity in January. Then at the end of the month we are going to start a series of beach volleyball tournaments that will run from end of January to April this year. In 2025 we had our junior teams taking part in the Region 5 games held in Namibia. So the boys brought gold to Zimbabwe, while the girls were on the silver. They brought the bronze medal. It was a good and positive start for the year, and we also had our other teams taking part in numerous beach volleyball tournaments across the borders in the Zone 6 beach volleyball tournaments and finishing in the top 10. We also had teams taking part in the South African beach volleyball series, which ran from February to October. They finished in the top 5, which was very commendable. So it was a very good year, but I'm optimistic with the start of our beach volleyball activities here in Harare, Zimbabwe. We're hoping to even do better and surpass our previous finishes in 2025. Basically, it's not just about having a beach that can give you a gold medal. Here in Zimbabwe, it's about the development programs that we have, mainly in schools and even these tournaments. We play a lot of volleyball. Zimbabweans are well known for their passionate and love for volleyball, as evidenced even in the recent Zone 6 Club Championships, where we had our University of Zimbabwe Wolves winning that tournament. So it means it shows that Zimbabwe, we have a lot of potential, we have a lot of talent, and through beach volleyball now it's coming out, and we are showing our neighboring countries that we can still compete, mainly especially in beach volleyball. We are still playing a bit second fiddle to Mozambique, but over the years we've managed to close the gap. In South Africa we are competing at par with them. We also record notable victories over South African teams. In Namibia we are also competing and winning and taking podium finishes. So we are doing very well in that aspect, but we still need to work extra in terms of our reinforcement on junior programs, getting the corporates to come in and support, especially the girl child, where it's a highly marginalized area. People usually support the female players, the male players. So we are also pushing for the girl child support, and looking at the previous results, you're looking at Zimbabwe taking bronze in the Region 5 games. If we channel more support to that, I'm sure this year we can even get a silver or even a gold medal. 2026 is going to be filled with a lot of beach volleyball series events. Here in Harare, as the chairperson for Harare Beach Volleyball Committee, we have introduced an exciting beach volleyball series, which is starting end of January up to April, May. And then once we've done with that, we are then going to come up with a full-fledged season of beach volleyball tournaments starting in August, September 2026, right up to 2027, which begins our Olympic qualification process.
Yes, so very passionate words there from Robert, the chairman of the beach volleyball club, and lots of work being done in beach volleyball, and it seems that we're going in the right direction, Steve. Refurbishing, teams are traveling abroad, doing well in Region 5, Angola as well, so it's going the right way.
Big plans, really good, of course, because it's two-a-side, it's not as expensive to assemble a squad and to send a squad as well. So this is something that makes this really attractive for us to do well in even in 2026.
Yes, so good luck to our beach of volleyballers out there. And Steve, I know that you are a fanatic cross-country fan. It's one of your favorite sports after football. Who would have guessed that? But there was a World Cross-Country that happened over the weekend. Tell us all about that.
Yes, the annual World Cross-Country Championships was on in Tallahassee in Florida in the USA. It was very tough for Zimbabwe, very tough. Godwin Katakura was our highest finisher in the senior men's. He came 49th. In the past, we've had athletes making it into the top 20. Even Sam Kaliso Moyo came 9th once in the women's at the World Cross-Country Championships. This was tough. I'm sure you loved cross-country at school, Sips, but this was really on another level. It was a punishing course. I watched a bit of it. Very wide, open, demanding, lots of hills. There was a water obstacle. I had to run through water. And then coming into the home straight, there's a section of mud just to tire them even further, to make them run through the mud. So one of ours didn't finish. It really was a good exercise, I think. Kenya, Uganda, Ethiopia did well, as usual. But this was very tough for Zimbabwe, and we still have quite a way to go to get back to where we were in World Cross Country, and that reflects across other athletics events as well.
Yeah, as you said, tough results, maybe 49th, not what we'd want, but again, getting to the World Cross Country Championship is a plus. I remember for my cross country days, it's always a tough sport, especially coming out from that December holiday. It was it was a pretty tough sport, but again, decent results from the World Cross Country Championships. Yeah. Now, there are rumours circulating around in the PSL. Of course, it's that time of season. There always will be rumours. But FC Hunters have allegedly been bought by Harare City for $600,000. However, the mayor has claimed that this is not true at all, and Harare City have not bought FC Hunters. So, Simba, what is going on? Has FC Hunters, have they been bought? Have they not been bought? What's going on here, Simba?
Yeah, nothing is happening at FC Hunters, and it tells you that the franchise has been sold to somebody else. And the two teams that we're running for that franchise were Ngombe. Actually, before the end of the year, it looked like Ngombe were going to get that franchise, but then Harare City came onto the picture, and right now, as we speak, Ngombe are now preparing to play in the Northern Region Division 1. So it leaves one team to get that franchise, or is already got that franchise in the Harare City. I think what the mayor was trying to firefight or dispute was the 600,000 figure. Not really that they acquired the franchise of FC Hunters, because look, there are a lot of things, there are a lot of people that have been complaining about Harare City having a football team and channeling resources towards that when, there is a lot that is happening in terms of non-collected refuse. You look at the drainage now, this is the rainy season, and the drainage within the CBD. So the mayor had to do something to firefight and say, no, we didn't get that franchise. But, I think sooner or later we'll have an announcement that they acquired the franchise.
Yeah, a bit of a shame it's not going to be happening with Hunters in Marondera. We had Coach Clifford Jayero here on Fanzone a few weeks ago. He did say at the time Rudaka Stadium would need a lot of renovations, so that never got underway, renovating the stadium. So that's a shame. Another Harare team. Would be better to have one in Marondera, but still the PSL will await its first Marondera side.
Yeah, but I have to ask Simba, FC Hunters, a team from the Eastern region, is only going to be their Premiership debutant side, the first time in the PSL. That figure of 600,000, that seems a bit much, no?
I don't think in Zimbabwe we have such a figure in terms of, the franchise is too much, because you look at that amount, and when you're buying a team like FC Hunters, you want to play in the Premier League, I think you're just going to get 2, 3 or 4 players. And what other assets do they have that you are going to sell them? And there was no even guarantee that, they were also going to take those players, or even the technical department. So it was just getting the franchise as in, the slot to play in the PSL, not to have other assets coming in, including the players. So 600,000 is too much for our football. And look at how much is needed for you to sustain yourself within the league, you see, and you add up to 600,000. It will be really too much. And if you look at Harare City, I think for them, yes, they will maybe probably want to play in the PSO this year. But again, when you look at the composition of the Northern Region Soccer League at the moment, there's probably one team that they are really going to compete against, and that is Ngombe. And there's not going to be much in terms of competition. So they'll just find their chances, say, if we play in the Northern Region, we can still get to win promotion and get into the PSO. So they would not fork out 600,000.
There was some rumours also that Green Fuel were interested in getting that franchise.
Yeah, actually it was FC Highlanders who tried to offer that slot to teams from the Eastern Region, Bigita Minerals and Green Fuel, so that the slot will just remain within the Eastern Region. Remember what happened last year when ZPC Wange sold their franchise to Moz, and there was an outcry from the region that there were now fewer teams from that region. But you look at Green Fuel, you look at Bigita Minerals, these are teams that are run by companies, so it's not easy to make such a decision. And they just thought if we go play in the Eastern region, it's easier also coming back.
Yeah, well, interesting. So we wait for the official announcement from FC Hunters as to what their premiership, their debutant season will look like in the PSL. Will there be FC Hunters or will there not be? All to see. But making moves as well as Dynamos after fretting over who the new head coach is after Calvin Kahundu had left from Dynamos to Hard Rock FC. They have now appointed the new man and the new gaffer, Genesis Mangombe. Now, it was disputed that it was possibly going to be Callisto Pasua returning to the helm, but they've gone with Genesis Mangombe. First of all, what are your thoughts on Genesis being back at Dembade? And then how is the season looking?
Yeah, firstly, I think Callisto Pasua, you really wanted to come back, but, the reports go to Malawi first before you could go and negotiate that he wants to leave his post. And then that clause, the buyout clause, and the Malawi Football Association wanted 20,000 for him to buy himself out, and Dynamos have to look elsewhere. And Genesis Mangombe probably was one of those. He knows the terrain. You won Chibuku Super Cup with them. You went to Triangle and helped them survive relegation, because when he went there, it was like done and dusted. They were going to be relegated, but he managed to do something and also took the team to the final of the Chibuku Super Cup. So, yeah, when you look at the coaches around, the young coaches, you'd say he fits the bill. And what he just needed is that he gets the resources in terms of the players so that he can compete, because it has been a long time since Dynamos won the league title. Yes, they've been dominant in the Chibuku Super Cup, but what the fans want also is the league title, and not a scenario like what happened last season, that they ended up the season fighting relegation.
Yeah, Mangombe is just a good coach. Great for Dynamos. Sakunda sponsorship likely to be confirmed in the coming days, and they're chasing other sponsors as well. So for Dynamos fans, if all goes well, you could be looking quite good for this new season.
Yeah, and also the fact that Emmanuel Jelai is staying. So probably just said, if there are no teams coming from outside the country, there's no team that is going to go for among the local teams. So you'll be staying. Shadrack Nyawa, the vice captain, last year he was one of the best players at Dynamos, and you'll also be staying. So I think they're also looking at bringing in a couple of players. Rumor has it that probably Watamsona might also go to Dynamos.
Wow.
And with the coach coming in from Triangle, young exciting players, and don't be surprised to see Witness Shave also coming to Dynamos. Munashe Bamara might also be coming to Dynamos, probably on a loan deal, but will be coming to Dynamos.
So, Walter Musona, though, going to Dynamos, why would he leave Scotland? Obviously, I think they might be paying better, or also the CAF champs as well. Why would he leave Scotland?
Yeah, of course, it's just still a rumor, but also maybe he might be excess at Scotland. There was also a rumor that Kama Billiard might also be leaving, but I understand that they said no, Kama were keeping him. And Kama also for marketing purposes when you have him in your squad. And they've also brought in some other players. and that's probably the reason why water might be moving. And there's also a rumor that Kudamuyaba could also be moving. Of course, he was released by Scotland, but also Marvelous Chigumira might be going to Dynamos from Scotland. Tichaona Chipunza might also be going to Dynamos from Scotland. There was also talk about goalkeeper Kevin Shankiwa might be also going to Dynamos, because Dynamos were hoping to get Takudzwa Chikosi, but Takudzwa Chikosi has gone to T1, so there's still a void for a goalkeeper. And remember, Prince Tafre Mutsa crossed the floor to Scotland.
Yeah, well, I'm glad for Dynamos that they were able to do getting the new coach in well before the pre-season. Good timing as well. Yes. So it'll be good for their pre-season and their team morale.
Yeah, definitely, and it increases the chance of attracting those players that Simba's talking about. Yeah.
There are quite a number of Ghanaian players that are also coming in for trials. I think they're starting their trials, the training sessions on Tuesday, and there are also players coming in again from Cameroon. They've also signed Stanley Billiard from Malawi. So I think quite a number of players are going to see new faces at Dynamos.
Oh yeah, things happening at Dynamos. So it's Caps who possibly could be lifting the 2026 PSL title. Dynamos looking and shaping up to be a better team in this coming season, and Highlanders still struggling to formulate what is going on within their camp. Simba, thank you for sitting with us in the Fan Zone. If you guys have enjoyed this episode, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with a friend, another football pundit, or with family. If you haven't done your predictions for the upcoming semi-final, make sure you go to fanzone.co.zw in the AFCON tab, and those predictions will be ready for you later on this week. But that's us from the Fan Zone studio, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.